Rita, good morning. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Now, yes, love and money, I suppose, go hand in hand at some stage, don't they? Yes. What are the mistakes? Let's start there. What are the mistakes couples are making these days when it comes to money and financial decisions?
I think the first mistake is that they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You go into a relationship all lovey-dovey and fantastic and nothing's ever going to go wrong, and then you either went into the relationship for the wrong reason, not for love or money, or maybe the wrong one,
yeah.
But you didn't talk about it, you didn't decide or discuss debt. Do you have debt if you go into a relationship? How are you going to clean it up? And you need to know, go into a relationship with open eyes.
So are we talking married couples or any couple that sort of lives together? Who would need to sort of, at what stage, when do you start to think about this as a couple?
You don't have to be married. Very few people these days take that formal step. People live together for years and years. And I'm not saying you have to get married to sort this out. I'm saying that if you are in a relationship where you are financially...
And sharing responsibilities,
exactly,
okay.
Financially interdependent, you have children together, you have to have something in place in writing to set out your rights and liabilities in that. What happens if the person that you are financially dependent on dies? If you are not married and if you don't have a partnership agreement, you don't have any rights. You might not inherit anything. Money might go to a family. You need to have something in writing. If you are married in a traditional setup, make sure that you have a piece of paper from Home Affairs that sets that out, and make sure that everybody knows if you are married or not. That's a very grey area in some circumstances.
Yeah. So when we're sitting down, we're having this discussion. What are the things we need to be talking about? What are the sort of, rules of engagement, if I put it that way? Yeah.
First of all, it shouldn't be painful.
Okay.
It should happen regularly with maybe a glass of wine if you're so inclined. But it's the mundane things that you need to discuss on an ongoing basis. The expenses for this month. Is January more expensive because the children have to be paying school fees? But then also the nice things. You need to have long-term goals as a couple. What are you saving towards? Is it an overseas holiday? When do you want to have that overseas holiday? Is there something that's going to crop up fairly soon? A car service is coming up, so you need to make allowance in your budget for that. All of those little things, but also the nice things. What are you planning?
Well, I can just imagine the discussion being, did you really need a new putter this month? Did you really need a new shade of red lipstick this month? I mean, you're going to have that happen. How do you navigate those discussions?
I think you must have a budget for the family, and then we're all grown-ups. If you're in a relationship, you should be a grown-up about it, and you should have a grown-up budget for yourself, and that once the communal things are dealt with, then let the grown-up decide if they want to have red lipstick or a new putter, as long as it's in the budget and discussed.
Budget. So this is something you should be doing how often? Every quarter, every month, monthly?
I would be very happy if people do this once a year,
okay,
where they discuss what are they going to do for the next year? I have friends who do it on a monthly basis, and they have to account for...
Are they happier? Happy marriages, happy relationships?
It depends on the people. They are very happy, the couple that I'm thinking about. Some people you are going to definitely open up sores with some people. So look at it very carefully. It's money has lots of emotion externally from just your relationship.
And I suppose the first time you do it, that first money date is going to be a difficult one,
awkward,
especially for people who are living independently. It's my finances. So once you get past that, what's the worst that can happen if you don't have this discussion? What have you seen happen? I'm sure you've seen
people who live very comfortable lives, where the children go to private schools, suddenly something happens to the husband, or the husband was actually in a company and they were married in community of property, and he disappeared and the wife was liable for millions and millions when his company failed. So if you don't talk about that, you have to be aware that you can be financially ruined, and your children could be financially ruined with you because there's no money and you didn't make provision for it.
Okay, so be the one to initiate that discussion if you have to be. Thank you very much. Some very handy tips, things we don't think about. Love and money, love and hate, there's a fine line. Thank you very much, financial planner Rita Cool.